Hello, my name is Cindy. Thank you for coming to this video. I'm so excited. I finished the Claire's Carolina shawl and I'm very excited about it because I saved the bind off row for this video. So I'm very excited. I used my Denise needles, which I put in another video. Denise needles are interchangeable needles, and you have the pieces like this, and then you can attach the cord like this. And I'm so excited. I'm glad I had these because I still have not received the longer needles. They're circular needles that I have bought. I bought one size and it was not big enough. So I'm glad I had the Denise needles. And I have a little bit of a cold. Today in New Hampshire, it is raining. It is raining like cats and dogs. It's really ugly. And it's not really that cold, but it's just really wet and raw outside. I have not been outside. Today was a day off for me. But when I woke up this morning, we had no power. So that was fun. My son was able to start our generator, which was a really big deal because he also had to replace the carburetor. So thankful for he's 17, so that's pretty good for him. For a young boy like that to fix the generator, he got it going. We were able to plug in the refrigerator and a couple other items. Oh, the coffee pot. I was really craving my morning coffee. And probably about an hour after he got it going, the power came on. So I was really thankful for that. So here we have Carolina shawl, and this is the Outlander Carolina, Claire's Carolina Outlander shawl. And I believe this is the fourth video that I made. I kind of made one at the beginning, and then I made one or two of them in the middle, and I just worked away. I actually finished to this point a few days ago, but I wasn't able to do the video. So this is the back of the project, and this is the front of the project. I used the, excuse me while I just kind of wipe my nose a little. I bought the yarn off of knitpicks.com. They have yarn, they have needles, really good website. And I used wool. This was a little more expensive than the yarn that you would get at Michael's or Walmart. It is wool. It is not the acrylic. So I'm thinking it's going to be nice and cozy. And this is kind of interesting. Since I started this shawl, I have found lots of patterns where people will start a shawl and make it into a triangle, and then it's just sort of a pattern for shawls, which this is actually the first shawl that I've made. I've made like shoulder cozy, kind of shoulder cozy things. And I have made a couple sweaters, but I never made a shawl because I really don't like the idea of having something on my shoulders that I have to like keep fixing and, it doesn't stay on. But this one is long. And from the pictures, you can kind of cross it in the front and put a belt with it. Or you could just kind of fold it, tuck it into your clothing. So I'm thinking that it's going to be okay to wear and it will stay on me. Now, right now, I'm wearing a sweatshirt that my daughter got me, and I love it. It's a Christmas chicken sweater with chickens with very fun Christmas decorations and hats. So Merry Christmas. Today I'm making this video. It is December 18th and we are off of school, which is awesome. So excited. The public schools in our area are still in school today, but we have the day off. And I was really glad because I was not feeling the greatest this morning, and then the power went out. So it's a good day to have off. And the rain is just really ugly. I'm sure I would rather have snow, but I kind of like the warmer temperatures. So you can't have it all, right? Okay, so we are on the binding row. So that means that on this shawl, I am actually at the bottom of the shawl, this is the top of the shawl, we started with a 5 stitches at the top and we added 2 every other row. Now, in order to bind off, there are a couple ways to bind off. The standard way would be to knit 2 and then knit 2 and then, hopefully I can remember how to do this. You knit 2 and then you put the bottom over the top like you're crocheting. You knit 2 and then you take the bottom one and you kind of put it over the top. So every time, and then you knit another one and you do it again. That's the standard way of binding off. But I'm going to do what I learned is the stretchy bind off, which worked really good for my shoulder cozy thing, because when I did the regular bind off, it was too tight. There's also the stretchy bind off, and you're going to knit 2 like this, and then you're going to, let me see, I think I need to knit 3. So I'm going to knit 3. No. Yeah, I'm going to knit a third one, and then I'm going to take the bottom 2, I'm going to knit, and I'm going to put it over the top of the first one. So instead of putting 1 over the top, you're going to put, no, I think I'm going to redo that. I'm going to knit 2, and then instead of just putting the bottom over the top, I'm going to go with my needle inside the 2, like going straight in. Then I'm going to yarn over, and then I'm going to knit. I'm going to knit another one, and then I'm going to go inside the 2 stitches, yarn over, and knit. And that is called the stretchy bind off. So at the very end, it's not going to be like, it will be stretchy, obviously. Okay, so it has a little bit more give than if I just did a regular bind off. It's just going to stay that size. Okay, so I learned this by a YouTube video. I do not have a YouTube video about this on my channel, but I learned on another person's channel, and I'm sharing that with you. So this is called the stretchy bind off. So you knit 2, and then you go inside the 2 stitches, yarn over, bring the 2 stitches over the 1. Okay, I'll try it again. Knit 1. Okay, so you start with knit 2, but every time you do it, you're going to only knit 1 at this time. You're going to yarn over and pull it through, so you have only 1 stitch. Oh, hi, Kelly. Yeah, so this is called the stretchy bind off. Now, I have at my school, I teach in person, and I teach math. Whoops. I teach math. I teach 7th and 8th grade, and I teach 9th grade Algebra 1. Oh, it keeps falling out. I teach 9th grade Algebra 1, and I also teach 10th grade geometry. And I told all of my students, if they have any desire to learn to knit, I would be glad to teach them. So I have 3 that have started knitting, and they really love it. I have a few more that are kind of thinking about it. And I'm telling you, the 3 that I have knitting, they love to knit. Like, it's really awesome. They're making scarves right now, but they're hoping by the end of the year, they want to make socks. They do like this shawl that I'm making. I showed them the shawl, and they do like that too. It's kind of like a older person type thing. When it's cold, I'm thinking this will be very, very warm and nice to wear. Today is not very cold. We actually have warmer weather today. So it is not very cold today, which is kind of nice. But I just love this. Okay. I'm not majorly awesomed out on the grayish color, but I kind of wanted to go with the earth tones because all the pictures in the videos were earth tones. And so when I went to Knit Picks, I had to look at all the colors. I didn't know what color to choose. I knew what kind I wanted, but I wasn't sure what color. And so then I ordered the gray because I wanted it to look like the picture. And then I ordered the green for the stripes because I don't really have a lot of green. I have a shawl that's blue. I have a tan one. I have, what other color do I have? Um, you guys have seen it. Oh, I have a gray with a kind of a reddish color to it. And I love them all. But I didn't really have any green. So I thought, okay, I'll go with green. And it's kind of cool because my friend that lives in town, who is Cherie Burlington, I did a video about her and her, she has really cool like clothing line that you can order online, and she makes the designs and you can order different types of clothing on there. I haven't ordered yet, but I really want to. They're kind of expensive, and I think it will be maybe an after Christmas gift for myself. But she's my friend from in town, and she wanted to learn how to knit as well. So it's kind of funny because she ordered this color, the same color green, for the main part of the shawl. And I have not called her, but I'm not sure exactly where she is, but I'm thinking she might be close to finish because she told me a few days ago that she was quite far along, so I was really surprised. So I sent her some of my beginner knitter videos. I gave her some tips. I told her where to buy the yarn, what type of needles to get. So if you're watching this video and you're interested in doing this yourself, let me know because I can give you tips. And I'm making this video as a last video for all of my Claire's Carolina shawl. This was put on online by Handy Little Me, which is a knitting blog. I do not know this person by in person. I just know that the company, that's who she has, some of these Outlander type shawls patterns. I think she probably made them herself. There are a few different people that have done these types of shawls. Now, at our library, we do have some knitting books, and in the old days, before people started making all these patterns that you can actually buy, I'm pretty sure that people came up with these types of things on their own. Like they would learn certain stitches and they would have the general idea, and then they would choose their own pattern for the knitting, because in the book it just shows you all kinds of different lace patterns, and then you kind of decide what type of sweater you're going to make. Or I'm sure shawls would be easy to switch the pattern. Now this one is basically knitting, 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 knitting. There's also yarn over, which just means that you're going to put the yarn over your needle as if you're going to knit. And that is what makes these holes. That's a yarn over there every time. And that adds a stitch. So, yeah. So I think, this is definitely something different than, knitting today is different than it used to be. It used to be more of a necessity, so people had more familiarity with it. And I don't know, I think sometimes they even made their own needles. They had to make their own socks and different things like that. So I am going to be making some sock videos. Excuse me while I, sniffle a little bit here. I do have I had some chicken soup today. I have some tea, and I'm not in a full-blown, like, terrible cold, just enough to, like, make your nose run. You know how that works. So I'm hoping with all the soup and the tea that I'm drinking, that we're going to be good. It won't get any worse. So I'm just continuing to bind off. I have a lot of stitches to bind off here. And I just wanted to show you the beginning of my sock that I'm working on. This is making socks with double pointed needles. That is going to be coming up in a future video. And I have a pattern that my friend has gave me years ago on double pointed needles. These are bamboo. I got these on Amazon very inexpensively. And these are size 2. They're very tiny. You can also do socks with circular needles, which is called the magic loop. And that's kind of what I prefer, but I think it's easier to start with the double pointed needle style. Now, a friend of mine, she showed me the other day, she has a very small sock needle that's about this size, and that's how she makes socks. And I think I would like to try that because that might be even faster. But the needles that you have for the magic loop, I actually made a pair of socks where you could do 2 at a time using the magic loop method. It's pretty tricky. You have to have 2 balls of yarn, and you have to like keep them from getting all tangled up. It was a little, I don't know. I only did it once, so maybe the more times you do it, the easier it gets, but it wasn't my favorite way to make socks. But I kind of like the magic loop method because you basically you knit a row and then you pull the cord through, and then you knit another row. So those are coming up for videos. Also, I wanted to tell you that I read a really great book that is on my friend Kelly's channel. Kelly, I don't know if she's still here, but she said hello in the chat box over here. And she's my friend Kelly Tag. And she made a video of this book. It's called The Woman Who Could Not Be Silent, or The Woman They Could Not Silence. Oh my goodness, that was a good book. I listened to it on the Libby app. So I would like to make another video that would talk to you about the Libby app. The Libby app is a app that you can get. And if you're on the library, if you have a library card, you can go to the Libby app and you can sign in and you can borrow books for free. So that is a really great way to listen to books and save money. Now, all of the books in the world are not on the Libby app, but it's books that are in the libraries in your state, something like that. So when you go to the Libby app, you have to sign in with your library card, and then whatever book that you want to watch or listen to, or you can also read them like a Kindle, whatever book it is that you want, they will tell you if it's available or if you have to wait. You might have to wait for the next available time, which for me, when I put in the title of the book that I wanted, this nose, I'm going to have, excuse me. When I put in the Libby app, the book that I wanted, they told me it would be a little bit of a wait. So then I was like, well, I'm just going to see how long it waits. I mean, it was like a few days, but then the next day it was available. So if you see that it's like taking a long time for your book to come through, it might be sooner than you think. And the author, I believe, was Kate Smith, and she was, my friend Kelly did her, Kate Moore, that's what it was, Moore. She was interviewed on Kelly's channel. She narrated that story. It was quite a story. It is a real story of a real person in American history. And I had never heard of her before. Her name is Elizabeth Packard. And if you have not read that story, I would totally recommend it. It had some difficult parts in it, though. It was not like a fun story. But it was inspiring is what it was. So I read that but I also recently listened to the story of John D. Rockefeller, and Kelly and I are going to be discussing that after Christmas, hopefully, on her channel. So we are going to be collaborating on that story. Kate Moore has some other stories that are out. One of the books that she recommended while she was on Kelly's channel is called The Radium Girls. And I started that one, and I'm telling you, that's a hard one. That is a really hard one. It's also a true story. And you have to be like, yeah, you have to be like ready for some bad news with that book. I mean, it's real history, but it's kind of heartbreaking. And so we'll see how that one goes. What kind of, I don't know if it must be inspiring or something. I don't know, but it's about girls who used to paint the faces on clocks with radium. And you can just imagine, if you know anything about chemicals, what happened in that story. Yeah, just that the beginning of it is kind of hard too. So I listened to that one, and hopefully I'm going to finish that one. But I told Kelly, it's a hard one, so you might not want to rush before Christmas. Make sure you have you're prepared for a tough story. So I don't know. I got a couple of watchers here. If you have anything to add, let me know. I have a lot of stitches. I don't know if I can stay here long enough to get it done. I might have to do some more and come back. Might get bored watching me finish this whole entire shawl, right? But I'm really excited. I love how the edge is the color of the shawl, or the stripes. It's really cool. So I'm anxious to see. I haven't really tested it out for size. I'm kind of like, I'm making a medium, hoping it's going to be just the right size. And I don't think I'm going to need it today because I'm actually pretty warm right now. And I only have like a couple pieces of wood in the fireplace right now just to keep it going enough so that it's not going to burn out. But it is so warm today. And I'm in New Hampshire. And New Hampshire is supposed to have snow this time of year. I'm going to look at my weather app. Okay, so today it is high of 60 degrees, 57. Crazy. December seems like it's been warmer the last few years in December, and then January and February, yeah, it could change pretty quick. Like 60 today, and by Friday it looks like a 33. So you never know in New Hampshire what the temperature is going to be. But I haven't really knitted today. I've been doing some cleaning. I have a lot of things to do that I have let slide since I've been teaching school and had lots of meetings and all kinds of activities. I'm thinking tomorrow I might be able to go do some shopping. And I don't know, I'm just not doing high speed Christmas this year. I'm just enjoying everybody else's high speed Christmas. And I'm doing low speed. So I am actually going to be making socks for myself, I think. And I'm finishing this shawl. This is going to be for myself. Before Christmas, I made quite a few dishcloths, and I sold them in a little vendor fair that we had at our school. And I know at least one person came back with a raving review that they were very much liked. I knit them with cotton, 100% cotton. One of the things about making a project is getting the the correct yarn. And it can be hard sometimes if you know kind of what you want to make, but you're not exactly sure what type of yarn that you want. So I do spend a lot of time, especially for this. Like, I didn't just hurry up and just go buy yarn. I have a pretty good yarn stash if I want to just make something. But like for the dishcloths, I use 100% cotton yarn. You can get that at Walmart or Michael's. And when you go into a store with lots of yarn, it's kind of hard because you love all the yarn, but it's like, okay, if I buy this yarn, what am I going to make with it? It's kind of better to figure out what you want to make and then buy the yarn, because sometimes I don't know exactly what I want to make with the yarn that I get. But that's just me. That might not be everyone. So, and you got to be careful, like if it's a dishcloth, acrylic isn't going to work well for a dishcloth. So you don't want to make it with acrylic, but you could make a doily with acrylic. But in order to put it in water and wash something, you don't want to use anything except for the 100% cotton. Cotton also is very strong, and you can wash it and get all the, germs out, whatever needs to be done. But you can also use them as a doily, okay? So I am almost at the worst thing about this video is my nose that keeps itching. And that has nothing to do with my yarn. I have a little bit of a cold today, and it just makes my nose itchy. Oh my goodness. So like I said, I do have Denise needles, and I just remembered the pattern did say to go up a size for the needles, but that's not necessary. And since I'm doing the stretchy bind off, I think we're fine. I'm not taking it out. I was going to switch these to the next size up, but it's okay because I have the stretchy bind off. So it's going to be good. I am so excited about this. And it really didn't take me that long. I did not think that I would finish this before Christmas, but I did, amazingly enough. It was pretty quick knitting because it's just straight knitting, and it was an easy project to pick up and just to keep going, knowing which. The hardest thing would be every other row you add yarn overs, you add stitches, and then the next row you're going to knit. So just getting to know which row is a knit row, which row is an add yarn overs row. And I have in here, I have stitch markers. And the stitch markers are nice because when you get to the stitch marker, you're supposed to yarn over before and after. So if you could do without stitch markers, but if you mess up, then it's kind of annoying. So as you can see, the bind off, it takes some time to bind off. I really think that knitting is a great thing because it's fun to have something that you create in your free time. Like you're sitting there for whatever reason, maybe you're riding in the car. I might knit a little bit on my break at school, but I don't really knit during school. A little bit I think I did during study hall a few times, but most of this is just maybe watching a TV show, listening to a book after school. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to finish this up, and I will come back later and show you the finished product. So thank you for watching, and I'll be back soon.